Mushin is the brain fog solution that 99% of people haven't discovered. This centuries-old Zen practice clears mental cloudiness better than many modern remedies. I'll walk you through the complete three-step process that will transform your mental performance forever. Without this knowledge, you'll remain trapped in the fog while others move ahead. Mushin literally translates to no mind or empty mind. But don't be fooled by the name. This isn't about emptiness or zoning out. It's actually the exact opposite. Zen philosophers developed Mushin as a practical tool for achieving extraordinary focus during intensive intellectual work, artistic creation, and complex problem solving. It allowed them to maintain perfect concentration for hours without the mental fatigue most of us experience after just 30 minutes of focused work. Think about it. As children, we could become completely absorbed in activities for hours. That natural focus hasn't disappeared. It's just buried under layers of mental noise, distractions, and thought patterns that have accumulated over time. But to understand how Mushin actually works in your brain and why it's so effective at eliminating brain fog, we need to look at its mechanism. Mushin works by quieting your brain's default mode network, the part of the brain responsible for idle mind wandering and self-talk. The default mode network, or DMN, is like the background chatter in your mind. It's active when you're daydreaming or unfocused, and it dials down when you concentrate on a task. Entering Mushin essentially switches off this mental chatter. With the DMN subdued, there's no stray thought about past or future to fog up your mind. In tandem, Mushin activates your task-focused circuits, so your attention locks in on only what you're doing, but without any sense of force or strain. In Mushin, you experience effortless attention. Instead of forcing your brain to concentrate, which often feels like a tug of war against distractions, your mind simply flows into the task at hand. It's important to note that Mushin isn't the same as meditation. While meditation is usually practiced sitting still in silence, Mushin is an active state you use during an activity. Therefore, we also need to see why Mushin is much better than other tools or techniques used for being more focused. Most conventional focus techniques add more mental load. Think about it. Using a complicated productivity app, following strict timer routines, or juggling multiple focus hacks ends up being more stuff for your brain to manage. It's ironic, but trying too hard to concentrate can scatter your focus even further. Mushin is the opposite. It subtracts the unnecessary mental load. You're not adding another task for your mind, like constantly checking a timer or monitoring your posture or breathing. You're simplifying your mental state. By doing less mentally, you achieve more focus. Achieving Mushin might sound mystical, but it's actually a trainable skill. Here's a three-step method you can use to enter a Mushin state whenever you need to focus. Step 1. Mental decluttering. Begin by clearing out mental noise. Find a quiet spot, if possible, and take a couple of deep breaths. Use a simple breathing pattern. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds, then exhale for 6 to 8 seconds. As you exhale, consciously release any thoughts or worries. If a distracting thought pops up, like, "Did I lock the door?" or "What's for dinner?" acknowledge it, then let it float away. Imagine pushing the thought aside as you breathe out. The key here is not to wrestle with your thoughts, just let them pass. This 30-second reset clears out clutter, creating a blank mental space for focused work. Step 2. Single-point immersion. Pick one task to fully immerse in. Remove all unrelated distractions. Mute notifications, close extra tabs, clear unnecessary clutter from your workspace. Use an entry cue to signal to your brain that it's focus time. This could be a specific song you only use during deep work, a short phrase you say aloud, like "let's begin," a ritual like putting on noise-canceling headphones. Once you activate the cue, commit fully to the single task in front of you. If you feel the urge to check something else, remind yourself, this time is set aside for just this. By immersing completely in one task with no competing distractions, you create the perfect mental conditions for Mushin. Step 3. Sustained flow protocol. Once in Mushin, the goal is to stay there. Recognize when your focus starts slipping. Signs include eyes wandering off the page, rereading the same sentence multiple times, random thoughts creeping in. When this happens, do a quick reset. Take a deep breath, stretch, or roll your shoulders. Repeat the quick breath from step 1. One slow inhale, exhale to clear mental clutter. Refocus with a light entry cue, back to it or glancing at the task. This prevents distraction from snowballing, allowing you to slip back into Mushin without losing momentum. Over time, you'll notice you need fewer resets, and your ability to stay in Mushin will improve. But if you're not convinced yet, let's see the proof behind this system. Mushin may seem like a new productivity hack, but it's actually hundreds of years old and deeply rooted in history. For example, Zen master Takuan Soho in the 17th century taught Mushin to samurai as a path to clarity and peak performance. Takuan described the state of no mind vividly in his writings, saying the mind in Mushin neither congeals nor fixes itself in one place. It flows freely without getting stuck. Such clarity was the direct result of Mushin, proving its effectiveness in high-stakes tasks like swordsmanship and in deep intellectual work like philosophy. Japanese artists and craftsmen also embraced Mushin as their secret weapon for creative excellence. Throughout the ages, master calligraphers, painters, and martial artists in Japan all spoke of entering a state of no mind to do their best work. No mind allowed these artists to pour their skill into the work without their ego or worries getting in the way. Fast forward to today, and modern science confirms what those masters intuitively knew. Research into flow state, the modern term for being in the zone, shows strikingly similar brain patterns to Mushin. In elite performers from athletes to musicians, scientists have found that when they enter peak performance, the parts of the brain that generate self-critical thoughts and random distractions go quiet. Just like in Mushin, the focused, effortless attention that high achievers tap into today is the same no-mind state Zen masters wrote about long ago. Knowing all this, the next big question is, what can you expect after trying this method? When you first start using Mushin, the benefits come fast. Here's what typically happens. First session. Your mind feels lighter. No more mental resistance. You finish your task feeling present and clear-headed instead of mentally drained. Brain fog begins to lift almost instantly as internal distractions fade. First week. Longer focus periods with less effort. Staying in the zone becomes more natural. Mental fatigue drops significantly because you're not fighting your own thoughts. You start working without the usual sense of friction or struggle. First month. You can enter Mushin instantly whenever you need focus. Brain fog and scattered thinking feel like a thing of the past. Your ability to handle deep work effortlessly becomes second nature. The solution to brain fog isn't about adding more. It's about removing what's in the way. Mushin lets you do that effortlessly. And if you want to dive deeper into even more ideas on how to force your brain to do hard tasks, check out this next video and subscribe.